G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing on this lovely afternoon? It is rather gloomy and cloudy, overcast and all that good stuff, and I don't know why I start every video by talking about the weather and whatnot, but it seems to be my tradition. So welcome back to the YouTube channel, ladies and gents. If you don't know, my name's Nathan. I make videos about motorbikes and post them on here. And if you like my stuff, subscribe and comment, and let's get boogieing down to business. Now, I do have a little topic today, and it's a little bit more on the sadder side, shall I say. And it's about Indian Motorcycle and their lovely, lovely creation, and about the FTR1200. Alright, now, if you've ever had the luxury of hearing about it, if you haven't, well, go Google it, I suggest. And if you've ridden it, even better, or owned it, best case scenario, you would know that they are such a fantastically designed motorcycle. They're a little bit on the chunky side, they're a little bit heavier than some of the other bikes in its class, but they're gorgeous, they look good, they got a funky fuel tank, they sound wonderful, and they just in general are fantastic bikes. Okay, that's number one. The downside is that unfortunately that beautiful motorcycle that we've grown to know and love is being discontinued. Now, I think they brought them out in 2019 or something. They're not old, right? They've only been around for a few years, and I don't know why, but Indian has deemed them unnecessary and no longer worth making. Now, it's a damn shame, because it's a great bike, grouse looking, great sounding, nice and torquey, great street bike. Okay, they based it off the old FTR750, the old flat track racer, hence the name FTR, flat track racer. If you couldn't pick that together, you either didn't know, or you're missing a few neurons. But the FTR, it was around for a little while. They changed the tyre size or the wheel size to make it a bit more universal fitting on the later model ones. But they're a beautiful mid-range bike. They make about 120 horsepower. They sort of rival the MT-09. They're a little bit slower on the acceleration, and I only mean that literally. They're only a little bit slower, but that's it, all right? That's the sort of category they're in. They're at about 220 kilos, so they're a bit more on the chunky side. They need a bit of a diet, these bikes, but they're American, all right? 1200cc V-twin, putting out a lot of torque. It was a great thing. The issue with it, I think, was if the argument of them not selling enough, there was one mistake they made, and they made those bikes incredibly overpriced, okay? A brand new one goes from, like, what, 20,000, I think maybe $25,000. I think that sounds about right, 20, and it goes up to like $28,000. Now, I'm sorry, you could buy like a brand new S1000RR for the price of the top FTR. And I don't know, man, it's a hard sell getting a bike of the German quality with all the technology for the price of the FTR. So I think that the price bracket they put that bike into definitely hurt it more than it did benefit for it. And look, they can price it what they want. It's their business, but I think they were definitely overpriced to the market they were trying to tack into, because, well, if you can buy a bike for this much money, or you can buy a better one for this much money, why would you pick the other one? Like, you can buy a Street Fighter V2 brand new for the price of the other FTR and have change. So, I don't know, man, when an Italian motorcycle is more affordable than yours, and it makes 30 more horsepower, and now, especially with the new Street Fighter V2 being 120 horsepower and being cheaper, I don't know, dog. You're getting a lot more bike for your buck, and also apparently the carbon models of the FTR weighed more. I was always under the impression that the carbon models should weigh less, because, you know, carbon and whatnot. But hey, I've been wrong before. Just because it says one thing doesn't mean it has to be. Now, despite its drawbacks in terms of financial things and its weight and everything, I didn't think that deterred from the motorcycle in the slightest for me personally. I thought it was actually a bloody gorgeous, that is a house and a half, bike. What you're getting, all that good stuff. I just thought it was a great package, right? Sure, it was expensive, but it was worth it. Now, I'm coming down this way for a very specific reason, all right? Down near this church, there's a little street, and down this street is some funky ass houses, so I thought it'd be interesting back view for while I do it. And it's actually a famous house down here somewhere, so I'll show you that one. Oh, but dude, there, look at that bloody fancy ass place. Damn, it's like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air stuff. But we're going to be going down here. So it's a sad day. If you guys like the FTR1200 and you haven't heard this news, I'm sorry to break it to you. It's it no longer exists. It's done. It's finished. We're going to go down this street here. And I only heard about it the other day, and I dare say I'm a little bit upset about it, because the FTR is one of my favourite motorcycles. you can get them second hand for like 12 grand. So like, they're not like impossible to get your hands on. Now, okay, also the house here on the corner. If you guys ever watch the Wogboy movies and watch the third one, like Wogboy 3, tell me if you recognize this place. All right, Frank, it's your house. If you ever watched the Wogboy 3, that's the movie Frank lives in. The house Frank lived in the movie. How crazy is that? I only found that out the other day by pure accident and coincidence. And I immediately was like, I know what that house is. Didn't even need to Google it, but I did anyway. I looked it up and I was like, yep, that's the house. But yeah, all these houses, and they're not even that expensive compared to like something. These houses are cheaper than the houses in my area, which just goes to show that my area is very, very popular. What can I say? My area is very popular with the overseas Chinese people, and they just got money that just comes out of the ground. I don't know how they all have like $5 million to buy a house with, but hey, they all seem to. Good on them. Anyway, the FTR comes out in a few trims, guys. It came out with the standard one, came out with the sporty one, it came out with the hooligan pack, which looked bloody awesome, and then you got the carbon pack, which a whole different look. All right, the carbon one was quite nice. My favorite one was the old school carbon. I think Dan the Fireman has the one with the red trellis frame. That one is my favorite edition. Only downside is I think the screen on it looks kind of ass, but that's just my opinion, man. So look, the newer FTRs came out with the Indian TFT with like the circle one that they put on the Chiefs and whatnot, and I think that was definitely a better move because, well, the Indians made a really nice TFT display, and it's a shame that they're trying to get rid of them already because, oh, they're not getting rid of all of them, they're just getting rid of the FTRs. Now, I think the FTR was Indian's strongest bike. Now, I know it's not. They got their Chiefs and their Scout bobbers and whatnot. The Scouts are very popular too, but they went from an American company with an innovative bike that was interesting and different to just a standard American motorcycle company, all right? And I think that's a bad thing for them. Don't get me wrong, I think the Indian Chief is a work of art. I love that motorcycle a lot, and I don't think anything will ever change my mind on that in that regard. But it was nice to see another company trying something else with a bit of heritage behind it because, man, the FTR has history. It was good looking, it sounded nice, it had a fun, playful engine, and I hope this doesn't make the market askew like the R6 did when it discontinued and then everything cost a goddamn fortune because everyone's like, oh, it's an 06, man, you can't get it anymore. I was like, brother, I'm not paying $20,000 for a second-hand R6. That's just because it's an R6. It's still a 600cc bike. You know what? Let's go this way. I don't know where I am anymore. But there's only one way to learn. Oh wait, no, mate, I know where I am, sort of, but not really. I've been here before, but not many times. Now, I'm curious, do any of you guys have an FTR, or have you ridden one? I know one guy I was talking to on YouTube the other day, because I saw a video of him, and he commented on it. He did an FTR video, hence why it made me think about it. And he said, it sounded like it liked it. Great looking bike, great sounding bike, great feeling bike, great hooligan bike, hence the hooligan pack. But, you know, the more and more I hear about it, the more and more good things get told. The only thing that sort of ever gets universally talked about is the petrol tank, either being too small or annoying to fill up. And now look, if that's the only bad things about it, oh no, that sounds terrible. You're telling me you're going to have, like 2 things, fill it up a little bit slower, stuff like that. That is a asinine problem to have, okay? Sure, it'll take you longer to fill up the bike. Like this one, done. The FTR's like, wait. You gotta wait for it to like sort of equalize or go down because it's a V-shaped petrol tank, so it's gotta like sort of fill up the other side of it. From what I've heard, I actually don't know. I could be completely wrong in that regard, but that's just what I've been told about said motorcycle. Excuse me, sir, please accelerate. And now I can't tell you that would be an issue to me. Getting like 180 kilometers to a tank isn't very much. Now that's fair enough in like all things considered, but dude, that is not a problem. I'm not going to go here because these cars are not going to wait for me. I can go this way now. I was going to go further back in the other direction, but I don't really want to get stuck in all the school traffic, so let's do our best to avoid all that jargon. But it's interesting seeing all these bike companies make interesting decisions. Now, to us, it seems stupid because we're losing such a great thing. To them, they're losing money or whatnot, and everything's always based on money, so you can't blame them. But you can still be upset about them. You know, we're going to go this way because there's less cars, but oh, there's a truck there. Ooh, can I get past this truck? I can. We're going to go this way and go through here, and oh, we'll be able to make this just fine. Excuse me, get in gear, please. Yes. I like lane filtering on smaller bikes. This is going to be the one thing I don't like when I upgrade bikes, is getting a slightly larger one, because the Honda Rebel and me are one. I know every part of this bike like the back of my hand. I know how wide it is, how thick it is in parts, and which parts are bigger, etc., etc. Whereas when I get on the other bikes, I'm like, this thing is large and in charge. Someone honked at me, I think. Didn't do anything illegal, but I'm not excited when I finally get rid of this bike, but at the same time, I am. You know what I mean? It's a long time coming. It's time to upgrade when I can finally afford it. And funnily enough, the FTR was actually on my list of bikes to potentially upgrade to. So, secondhand is fine. I actually really like the first gen ones that didn't have all the TFTs, like just the nice simple tacho with the fuel gauge wing and blips. That was fine. But the newer one, like the in-between TFTs, look, my favourite model has it, but it's not my favourite screen. Then they got the nice TFTs, but man, something about the old school dashes though. They're not my, I like TFTs, don't get me wrong, a lot of people hate TFTs, I like them. But sometimes the old school TFT looks good, like a Booster, their dashes are just absolutely sexy. Sort of remind me of the Porsches. That's all those dials, it's just gorgeous, but unfortunately you can't have everything, so yeah, sometimes it's just upsetting, but that's okay. That's just innovation. You can't agree with every bit of technology that's coming out, and that's just life, I guess. So 3, 2, 1, acceleration in the dip. Oh, I thought that XR6 was exciting. It's just a standard one. I'm such a bogan. But ladies and gentlemen, this video is more so to bring out the news to a lot of you that wouldn't have known that the FTR is closing up. Ooh, that bike's always there. Because it's not news that everyone sees all the time. Like, I only found out because I started looking up the FTR the other day. So, look, if you didn't know about it, I completely understand. But this is why I make the video. I let everyone know that doesn't know. Give me your thoughts and opinions down below. But it's a sad day for Indian motorcycle, I think. Now, I think they announced it last year, sort of like the December, October to December area. So it was relatively recent, but it's sort of old news at the same time. But, well, I haven't talked about it, and if I only sort of learned about it the other day, which means other people haven't learned about it yet, so that's that. So don't get mad at me, fucking. But ladies and gents, that's all I have time for. I do hope you've enjoyed the video and you learned something. If you have, leave a comment down below. If you've written one, tell me about it. But otherwise, take it easy, keep it cheesy, ride safe, and if you get your chance to ride an FTR, well, I'd say absolutely take one, because why wouldn't you if you have the chance? But without further ado, I'm going to love you and leave you, so have a good one. Peace! Bye!